Hey guys, welcome to the finals of the DBS CCG Regionals in Las Vegas. And in today's match, we have John Mendoza running Team Gohan against Austin Fontaine running Hellbent Bibbidi. Both of them having crunched up through the 2 days of regionals to get their way all the way to the finals. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the first round. So here we can see that John is on the blue-green version of Gohan. That gives you access to things like beans, it still keeps you open for free Kamehameha, it really allows you to extend your plays, even though the deck can go in many different directions. While here Austin is, running the typical mono black package. This matchup, I feel, really comes down to whoever's going to be able to be more aggressive. Bibbidi has the disadvantage in that he has to take 2 life to awaken in the first place. So if his deck really wants to go off in this kind of race to who can deal the most damage, he's already behind by 2. And there's the additional fact that Gohan gets to essentially have dual attack, and being in blue-green actually gives you way more defensive and tech options than the Bibbidi player. If he's going to want to awaken, he's going to have to pitch his entire hand, and that means that Austin's going to have to make some really awkward charges. Like we see here, he's considering charging the Spark and Negate, which he does, and it's one of those things where he's going to constantly have to pitch away his answers to what Gohan's trying to do to, one, not only start up his chain, but additionally just be able to draw into more cards. He's gonna have to ditch his entire hand to hope to then redraw into, let's say, more negates or more combo power. And that's really what this matchup is gonna come down to, in my opinion. So here we see Bibbidi going in. It's just gonna be a race. That's who's gonna get in there first. Turles is a great way to try and get in there early. You want as much free aggro as possible. But John has, a full stack hand, and he's in colors that allow him to get some defensive options. Austin getting the restand and 5k on Turles and going in for swing number 2. Oh, and now we see him going for the double strike. Really try and commit to getting him to a low life total. Definitely the right move here, if you ask me. Push on that pressure, put on as much as you can. Force John to a really awkward life total, so that it prevents a lot of his plays if you were able to really push. Okay, and from here we have about 40 or 50k worth of combo. The one downside of being aggressive is that your opponent, at least as far as the Gohan player goes, doesn't have to commit battle cards to self-awaken. And here we see just John take the 2, going down to 2 life. Really limiting the amount of turns that John's going to be able to force the triple strike play. Here we see Austin pitch away his final mimicry in hand to be able to just draw himself a brand new hand. Very powerful ability, if not a little. It's definitely a double-edged sword, because you are drawing 5 cards, but it's not guaranteed that you're going to get anything usable, especially in a matchup like this where seeing your defensive options is really key. Here, John goes for the awaken after the attack, and here comes the swing. Restanding his previously rested energy, and going for a simple single strike and pass. So recognizing that John at this moment is currently on the back foot, setting himself up to be the control player in this matchup, and keeping his options open. This here gives Austin a good opportunity to really reel it in. Now he's got 3 energy, he's got access to the entirety of his chain from his 2-drop, and can really lay down some pressure. Here, John does have the possibility of using beans to kind of mitigate the push. But I do believe if Austin wants to go in, he should be going in now. Really limit the opportunity Yep, combo big, and force John to start negging cards. Decisions. And here we saw probably a very key Cell's Kamehameha. Obviously, whatever Austin didn't combo away, he'd like to keep up. And there's another Turtles. That hurts a lot because that's a lot of free aggro. And now we see the Bean, which is essentially just going to be continuous combo power for the next few turns. And that Cell Kamehameha is so powerful. It's a guaranteed 1-for-1. It's 15k combo, and you can just decimate your opponent's plan if you just rip the right cards. And here, ripping out the Turtles is big game. Really restricts the amount of attacks that Austin can get in for the turn. Thankfully, he does have a Mimicry and drop, I believe, which means that with the right pieces, he'll be able to go up the chain if he sees them. Even if he's not able to get the 2-drop on board through Hardcast. Oh, and here we see the Bibbidi super combo. Such a strong super combo. The ability to essentially, add an additional 30k to your attack through one card is crazy. And here we see the additional Cell popping off the 6-drop. Not a problem that's in your drop. That's typically where you want him there. The Ape, a very interesting tech choice in the deck. Allows him to fetch for more gas, find more pieces. It allows him to pump up his leader card additionally if he needs that. However, it's a weird fine line, right? Because if you draw cards, then you're not allowing yourself to have an empty hand. So you're just committing essentially to seeing more cards for that specific aggro, or if you're trying to find a combo piece, knowing that if you don't have use for them, you're just going to pitch them away at the end of the turn anyways. Which, if it's things like negates, Austin can't really afford to not see as many negates as he can in case of losing to the crackback. And like I was saying, now we find himself pitching another negate. Here's to hoping he top decks some more. And we move over to John's turn for his turn 4. Black not having the defensive options that all the other colors do. This could very much be the turn he goes in for the closer. We have a check land charge. Very good being able to go full power on this turn if need be. And we have a swing on the leader. Alright, we have activation of the triple strike. And now this is just who's got the stronger hand. Feet. Now we're at triple strike crit. So busted with the Gohan leader. It's so much combo power. It is so many back-breaking abilities stacked on top of each other. Then we see the Bean restand the energy. And outside of having another negate, and now we have the Cell Kamehameha. Again, great 15k combo power with a guaranteed 1-for-1. Oh, and we hit the super combo. Probably one of the few cards at the deck that Austin's deck can rely on to effectively fade taking this damage, and that's the hit. And the fact that he's not getting those 3 cards effectively means that John could probably combo to that amount outside of a negate and just kill Austin right here. So no reason not to. Nothing stops a leader swing outside of the negate. So here we should see John just going all in. Starting off with the Paragus super combo, getting rid of the extra cards, another feat, which you just serves so much combo power for free. And that's it. Going over to game 2. And that's really just what this matchup comes up to. Quick games. I don't see these games ever really going long. As we saw, some really good rips out of Austin's hand that John managed to do with the Cell Kamehamehas. That card is so good. It's so prevalent in so many strategies for a very good reason. And getting rid of that Bibbidi just really kind of sealed the deal on that attack. With that Bibbidi, he was probably able to survive. I'm fairly certain he would have had enough combo power with that and the rest of his hand to be able to not die right there and then. And maybe even go on for extended plays on the crackback. So unfortunately, the rip is definitely what sealed that off from there. And like we saw, it's really the deck that's able to push as hard as they can the quickest. I don't think this is a card advantage game, more so just really who can deal a critical amount of damage that's hard to come back from. And things like Bean and the multitude of tech cards that colors provide you really make it so that Gohan is probably favored in the matchup, outside of Bibbidi getting an insane start where he can probably attack 4 or 5 times a turn. Unfortunately, Austin not being able to find those pieces, really just going in with the Turtles and the leader. Okay, and our finalists have finished side decking and starting the match, so let's jump right back in. Here we see Austin starting up with a Sparking Negate charge. So tough, right? You want to hold on to those. Negating the leader is the best way to get around dying for the turn out of triple strike, but just due to the nature of Bibbidi, you just gotta hope you can top deck it. There's not much to it beyond that. John being a little conservative with his restand, from the looks of it only taking 1 life, makes sense. You don't want to take too much going into Bibbidi's turn 2. We see a Mimicry charge on Austin's side. Swing and pass. This could be a concession that he needs to be more defensive for the turn. Maybe he just doesn't have the right pieces, but we will see. Oh, a little drop there. No foul, we got a judge there. Eyes on the match at all times. And now we got some crit swings over with Gohan. Oof. And there's the Turtles. What a good hit. Having that in hand would have probably helped a lot in terms of pressing that aggro. It's essentially having a 15k dual attacker puts in a lot of work. And now we see the Awaken from John. We got the triple strike. See, and this is a position now where I think you go really hard, because the reality is if you get this attack through, Austin can no longer awaken. If he does, he kills himself, right? Because he has to take the 2 life. So this is where I believe you really commit as much as you can to this attack, due to the fact that you put your opponent in a position where I don't think they can come back with the win. Bibbidi's unawakened side is just not strong enough to carry out the long game. And so this attack would put so much pressure against Austin. Okay, and here we just see the feet combo. So Austin most likely going to be able to dump most of his hand here to save himself from going to that life total. If he manages to pitch his entire hand, he'll also be able to awaken now. So whereas he does put himself in triple strike range anyways, it does mean that he would be able to survive and see more cards, including a negate. Okay, and we have comboed over it with 1 more card in hand. To that end, it could be maybe faking out the negate, maybe it's a mimicry. Here we go into the Overwhelm Toa, pitching that last card. And yeah, there goes that last Bibbidi. Definitely would have helped him out with that final attack. But I don't think this format is especially with like the Cell Kamehameha, or the fact that Toa exists in the way she does. I don't think you can afford to just hold on to one card in your hand and expect it to stay there. And now we see Austin awaken, draw the extra cards, and go and find himself, hopefully something to stop the Yep, there we go. Dropping to 1. Trying to get himself as much gas as possible to out combo any additional attacks from John. Another negate here could mean life or death. John now going in, probably trying to figure out a mixture of how many super combos are in there and how many negates Austin still has in deck. We see the leader restand and swing. So if John can't close out on this turn, it is a loss. So let's see how Austin will answer. Yep, now we have another pitch. Are the God pitch is going to keep going? What's going to be the pickoff? And we have a 5K. Not the end of the world. It hurts at the end of the day because it effectively turned his 15K combo with the Cell into a 20K combo. And that's really the power of where, Cell comes from. If you're not dismantling your opponent's plan, especially with a deck like Gohan, you are essentially adding extra combo. Here we're using the Android 18 tech, pitching away the extra cards for effectively turning her into a super combo. Very powerful. And here I think we're in the, looking at over 100K of damage. And that's it. That's the combo. Our opponents have shaken our hands, and John Mendoza is the Las Vegas regional champion. What a tournament. Unbelievably taken down by 2 aggro decks to meet up in the finals with Gohan taking it all the way. What a quick match, right? And that's what to expect when you go up and, Gohan versus Boo. You have 2 aggro decks that are just trying to go balls to the wall, with Gohan having the benefit that, he can run out the game longer if he needs to, just because, the way the leaders work, he can hold a hand. Austin's constantly going to have to refresh his hand and kind of just hope that what he refreshes on gives him the tools he needs to combat Gohan, on top of the fact that he essentially has, 2 less life than his opponent due to the nature of his awaken. That said, this has been a crazy regional. 400 participants on Monday, 200 participants on Saturday, with a merged top 16 from both top 8s to finish off the event on Sunday. It has been a fantastic weekend. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to Carta Magica for doing everything they could to host a fantastic event. A reminder, if you participated in the event and you did not get your prizing, please give your contact info to Carta Magica and they will fetch you your prizing through Bandai officially directly. With that said, it's been a phenomenal event. Thank you for joining us. I'm Aspira, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.